Habs After Dark with Recliner Sports.
3, 2, 1, 0.
What's going on, gang? What is going on? A night that started out with such great promise, then turned into a bit of a, I don't know if disaster is too strong a word, but certainly a disappointment. I guess we could call it that. Luciano says, "Go Habs, go." Rodney says, "See what happens when they sing that stupid song, Ole, Ole." Well, it works. I mean, I don't think that the Ole, Ole, I mean, typically it's, I don't know. I don't know what you mean by that, I guess. I think you probably just don't like the song, but Slav needs to be in the second or third line. Couldn't disagree with you more, Asim. I don't understand the hate for Slavkovsky, right? He scored his 50th point tonight, which basically gives him the same number as last year. He's just turned 20 years old. He had a decent game. I mean, nobody really played really that well tonight, but I mean, Slavkovsky did not have a bad game tonight. Why is everyone jumping all over Slavkovsky? I've got people telling me that Slavkovsky had a bad game. I've got people telling me that they should have started Dobesh. I've got people telling me that they don't understand why Patrick Laine took one of the shots in the shootout. Anyways, Canadiens lose 4-3 in a shootout to the Chicago Blackhawks. Great first period. Really good first 18 minutes or so. A little bit of indiscipline late in the first period. Then they just kind of went to sleep. Not sure exactly what happened. They did a good job to come back in the third, but unfortunately they weren't able to convert in overtime, and they also weren't able to convert in the shootout. What planet, Matteo P, has he been overhyped? Like, what do you mean I'm backtracking? The kid's just turned 20 years old. He's got two 50-point seasons under his belt. Could he be a little bit more consistent? Yeah, but again, he's a young player. He's got a lot of room to grow, right? Like, I don't like what do you guys want? Like, what do you want from him? Do you want him having like he's got 13 less points this year than Connor Bedard? Like, do you want him to have 50 goals season and as a 20-year-old? I don't get it. Toilet seat logo. Good one, Zachary. How old are you, Zachary? Is that what you came up with? You're like, look at your picture. I want to see your picture. You're like 60 years old and you go with toilet seat logo? Good one, man. If you want to enjoy the show, guys, come on over to YT. The channel's right here. Open up your YT app, Recliner Sports 4. Come check us out. Jason Barnes, the Habs will get in and then upset the Caps. From a Leafs fan, yeah, they've made it more difficult on themselves now, Jason. I mean, obviously, winning tonight was this was the game that they had to win, right? It's not that they had to win it, but this was the biggest opportunity for them, right? This was the one that presented itself, the best opportunity for them to qualify for the playoffs. As it stands now, they're going to have to sit back and watch Columbus, and they're also going to have to, try and put something together against Carolina on Wednesday. So. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. They started out really, really well, but they just kind of they went flat. I'm not sure what happened. Yeah, I mean, they weren't up to the occasion tonight. They weren't up to the occasion. I don't know whether, I don't know. All the ingredients were there for them to have a big game tonight and for everything to go well. And then with Demidov getting an assist and a goal early on. Zachary, isn't it time for you to take your Metamucil and go to bed, man? Come on, man. Way past your bedtime, Zachary. I heard there's a big bridge tournament tomorrow at the old age home, so why don't you just go somewhere else, pal? But yeah, again, I don't know a whole lot of what to say about that game tonight. I mean, this was the big opportunity for them. It was a home crowd. The crowd was all fired up. Everything was there for them to, everything was there for them to do it. Why wouldn't you put Demidov in the shootout? Well, who would you have not put out there, Asim? who would you have allowed? I mean, again, I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm not disagreeing. I suspect he would have been the next shooter if they'd had another shooter. But who are you not? You're not going to put out your 38 goal or 37 goal scorer. You're not going to put out your captain. You're not going to put out the guy who's been your best shootout guy so far this year. Like I don't. Well, again, you can say that you would have put him out there for Laine Krause, but Laine was the best. Laine has been their best shootout guy all year. He's the only guy to score in their last shootout. Like I don't like. I know you don't like Laine. He's not lazy. Like, what do you mean he's looked lazy? Patrick Laine had the third best expected goals for percentage on the Canadiens tonight. He had a 72.22 expected goals for percentage tonight. He was on the ice for 10 scoring chances for and only 4 against. So again, I know that everybody loves this narrative that's being fed by the French media in Montreal that Patrick Laine is lazy and whatever. And yes, I agree with you. There's parts of his game that can be frustrating at times, but you know, I like the Canadiens play much better hockey when Patrick Laine is in the lineup. Like it really is a demonstration that people don't really quite get. I don't know. Whatever. Laine didn't have a good game. Well, in fact, he did, Asim. Again, he was on the, when you're on the ice and good things happen when you're on the ice and bad things don't happen when you're on the ice, that is by definition, again, factually, objectively, by reality, by definition of reality, you've had a good game, right? That's the whole idea behind hockey is you want to score and you don't want the other team to score. And so if you create more opportunities for your team to score when you're on the ice and you don't allow very many opportunities for the other team to score when you're on the ice, then that by definition is you're playing good hockey. I mean, the same would go for Slafkovsky, right? Slafkovsky tonight, better numbers than Lane Hudson, better numbers than Cole Caulfield, better numbers than Caden Gooley. Again, Slafkovsky didn't have the team didn't have a very good game tonight. So let's not but as far as, blaming individual players, if you're picking Slafkovsky and Laine as your whipping boys for tonight, I would point you towards Josh Anderson, who, again, I'm not going to rip on him, but Josh Anderson was on the ice for 3 scoring chances for and 13 against. Christian Dvorak was on the ice for 3 scoring chances for and 16 against. So, you're picking guys based on I don't know what, right? So again, I'm not the one who's bringing up Anderson and Dvorak and Evans as having had bad games. You guys are the ones who are picking out Patrick Laine, and you guys are the ones who are picking out Slafkovsky when that's not reality, right? Like if the purpose of the game is to score goals and to not allow the other team to score goals, then objectively Patrick Laine was one of the Canadiens' better players tonight. Josh Anderson and Christian Dvorak were objectively 2 of the worst. Bye, Zachary. I hope you have a nice life, man. For whatever is left of it. So yeah, again, I don't think anybody on the team really had a great game tonight. Other than Demidov. Demidov looked quite good. I thought Newhook looked good. Obviously it would be nice if he would, find a way to capitalize on, a higher percentage of the scoring opportunities that he gets. But, I think those 2 are probably the 2 guys that I would point to as having had, the best games. Well, I can assure you, Asim, that they were trying their very best to get that second point, right? I can assure you that they weren't sitting on the bench saying, well, guys, it's not a big deal. we don't really need to work that hard to get this second point. Like, I mean, it's not really a big deal if we make the playoffs. Like, it doesn't really matter. Like, I know, like, if we score another goal and we, get that second point, it means we make the playoffs. But, it doesn't, like, again, I'm going to suggest to you that there probably was a level of urgency there. I don't think this was a case of them not taking it seriously or not putting in an effort. I would venture to say that they were pretty desperate to try and get that point, and that they put everything that they had into trying to get that. Again, I don't know that this was a situation where effort was the problem tonight. I know I'm probably being a little bit salty tonight because the game was a little bit frustrating for me. And I do think there's room for criticism. I mean, this is a young team, and this is a team that tonight didn't really, wasn't up to the challenge. And that's probably one of the first times that you can say that about this team this year. Their goal this year was to play meaningful games, and the idea behind playing meaningful games is that you want to test to see how well you respond to the pressure of the big games. And tonight was one of the games where it appears that the pressure was too much for them. Prior to this, the pressure doesn't seem to have been too much of an issue. But again, the numbers weren't terrible tonight. They were pretty even. I mean, obviously, you don't want to be even with a team like the Chicago Blackhawks because they're not as strong a team. I would venture to say that Chicago is a much better team now than they were earlier in the year. And I think the Chicago Blackhawks have finally realized that they should actually be playing their young players instead of trying to bring in a bunch of old free agents and guys in trades. And they're certainly a better team with guys like, Frankie Nazar and Levshunov and Rinzel and, all those guys in the lineup. If the Habs make the playoffs, I'll bet you $100 million that their number one goalie will get the start, Sam Montembeault. That's the only right answer. Frank says Montreal just needs 1 point to clinch. Yes, 1 point against Carolina will get them into the playoffs. Montreal has played 3 games in 4 nights. That is correct as well. Yeah, they have played 3 games in 4 nights. Not an excuse. I mean, again, the Canadiens. I mean, they demonstrated in the first period that they were very much capable of doing their thing. Sorry, Billy D. I missed a question. I missed one of your comments there. Have to be more disciplined. Special teams cost us the game. Yeah. I think there was. Yeah, the penalties were not ideal. I thought that the penalties were a little bit. Again, the Canadiens had a power play. I can't remember at what point. I think it was in the second period, and twice during the power play, one of the Chicago players snapped Juraj Slafkovsky's stick in half. Right, that's an automatic penalty in the NHL. Right, we've been told that that's an automatic penalty. If you slash a guy's stick and it breaks in half, you're getting a penalty. Right, we've seen that a million times. But for whatever reason, tonight these referees decided that they weren't going to call that for whatever reason. Dobesh's numbers are not better, user 725. Sorry to break the news to you. What's going on over here, guys? Everyone's really, really quiet. If you're not, if you haven't hit the thumbs up button yet, guys, please do so. There's 11 people watching right now. I got 4 thumbs up. If you're not subscribed, we'd love to have you be part of the group, be part of the gang. I know I'm going to be a little bit off tonight. That game was a little bit frustrating to watch, and so I do apologize ahead of time, but I will do my best to keep my head screwed on properly. Do my research, user. Well, how many games has Dobesh played, user 725? So that's the first number you look at. Yes, he's got a better save percentage and he's got a better goals against average, but he's done it in about 1/5 as many games. So that's the number that matters. So when you say he's got better numbers, it's not just the numbers that you choose that you think are better. It's all of the numbers. So when you have a goalie who's played 61 games and has, basically the same save percentage and goals against average, the guy who's played 60 plus games is typically has better numbers, right? So if I've played 1 game and had a shutout, it doesn't mean I have better numbers than than Connor Hellebuck, right? Connor Hellebuck has played a lot more games. He's done it over a longer period of time. No Jack Guy in the game. We got what we deserved. Well, Jack Guy hasn't played for 5 or 6 games now. Yeah, again, because people are stupid, Luca. Because people are stupid. They missed a high stick on Gallagher as well. Yes, they did. They missed a high stick on Gallagher, and there was another high stick behind the net. I can't remember who it was on at some point as well. It's not that they missed it. The referees in the NHL, the rule book is not like a rule book. The rule book is a guideline, right? Their goal is to get through the game without giving one team too much of an advantage over the other. So the rule book just is a guideline to them to, you can call this, right? It's not like you must call this, unless you flip the puck over the glass or whatever, it's become a situation where the refs have that much discretion that they, pick and choose when they're going to make those calls. What do I think about the shootout review? Well, I mean, it's frustrating, Edward, but I mean, at the end of the day, the puck went in the net. I mean, would you want to win? Would you want to win if the referee said, "Listen, the puck went in the net, but we can't allow it because the next shooter already went, and the Canadiens ended up winning the shootout when they should have lost it." How would you feel about that? Yeah, the refs on the weekend were bad. Again, I'm not blaming the refs for tonight's game. I don't know that it would have made a difference tonight. It might have made a little bit of a difference, but the refereeing in general, and it's not just about the Canadiens. I mean, it goes both ways. It's just an inconsistency with the way they apply the rules. It's not me sort of complaining or whining about the referees, because I don't think the referees made a huge difference either way in tonight's game. But again, it certainly would have and should have given Montreal a 2-man advantage at one point. The defense didn't look great in the second and third period. I agree. A. Kraus, Demidov on the power play one. How come? Again, I think a lot of people don't understand a couple of things about that. One, you don't just jump into power play one on your first game. I mean, we saw that with Lane Hudson. It's not typically something that's done. Second of all, the goal of the Montreal Canadiens is to have 2 solid power play units. Right? The idea is that you want to have 2 units out there. If you have 2 good power play units, that's when your power play is the best. The Canadiens power play, the best the Canadiens power play has been all year, by the way, for those of you who've forgotten about it, was at the beginning of the year when they had Lane Hudson on the second power play. Like when they had 2 dangerous power play units and they forced the other team to break up their best penalty killers. Yeah, I mean, it's not over yet, Larry. I'm satisfied as well. And I think, welcome, by the way, Larry, welcome back. I'm satisfied with the season as well. And if they don't make the playoffs, I get, for a little while, it's going to sting and it's going to feel like crap. And you're going to feel disappointed. But at the end of the day, looking back on the season, this has already been a good season. And as I've said 100 times before, any playoff action that we get out of this team is kind of like a cherry on top of the sundae. It's not, nobody expected them to be in this position. The rebuild is well ahead of schedule. Things are going, advancing perhaps more quickly than anybody, would have anticipated. And, it is what it is. Brock Besser is coming. I doubt it. Why would the Canadiens want Brock Besser? Why would you bring Brock Besser into a rebuilding situation? I mean, move Galley in the offseason. Okay. Why would you move Galley in the offseason? What would the rationale be behind moving Brendan Gallagher? And what do you think you would get for him? They need a guy solidified on the second line. Okay. So they need another winger on the second line? I thought Demidov played really, really well. You predicted an 85-point season. I predicted an 86-point season. Remember? I predicted that Nick Suzuki would finish with 87 points and that Montreal would finish with 86. So that's, they've done better in both of those categories. So if you're over on TikTok, guys, come over and join us on YT. That's the channel right there. Join us on YT. We're doing a live show called Habs After Dark. Everybody's welcome. Come on over. You'll get to see the graphics and all of the information that we're putting out there. We're going to go to the scoreboard here now, guys. So as you see, of course, 4-3 for the Blackhawks in overtime against the Canadiens. Disappointing result, but overall the numbers are pretty even. We see the score 4-3. The Canadiens come out early. Ivan Demidov's third shift, I believe, second shift of the game. He gets an assist on Alex Newhook's 15th of the season, assisted by Armia at 6 minutes. About 7.5 minutes later, Demidov scores his first goal. A bit of a weird dump in. He gets the puck, goes in, fakes a slap shot on Soderberg, and beats him on a deke. Ivan Demidov's first career NHL goal, assisted by Armia and Matheson at 13:32. Then the Canadiens get in a little bit of penalty trouble. Caden Gooley with a big hit. I haven't really seen a lot of replays of it yet. It's a big hit on Oliver Moore, I think. It was, and he ends up getting the extra 2 minutes for interference. Tyler Bertuzzi converts on that power play with his 23rd of the year from Nazar and Bedard. And so the score at the end of one is 2-1. The only goal of the second period comes from Frankie Nazar from Teravainen and Rinzel late in the second period. That ties things up at 2. Pardon me, I missed a goal here on my scoreboard. Then early in the third period at 5:39, this isn't on your scoreboard, guys. I missed this one. 5:39, Lucas Reichel from Slaggert and Veleno made it 3-2 for Chicago at 5:39. The Canadiens were in trouble at this point. They're down 3-2. They did manage to come back at 17:03 with about 3 minutes left. They get a power play goal from Juraj Slafkovsky. He deflects in a Cole Caulfield shot, and Lane Hudson gets the other assist. And so the score is tied at 3 with about 3 minutes left. Neither team is able to score another one, and they head to overtime. The overtime doesn't really turn much up. Looked like Nick Suzuki was struggling a little bit in the overtime to me. He took a bad hit late in the game from Vlasic, and he was on the bench. He looked a little, didn't look himself in the overtime. The Canadiens didn't really get a ton of chances. Laine had a nice shot on goal at one point during the overtime, but really, I say that Chicago probably carried the play a little bit in the overtime. But neither team scored, and then they went to the shootout. Of course, it was a bit of a weird shootout. As we saw, I think it was Nazar went in and scored a goal, but the referees didn't think it went in, and then the Canadiens shot and missed, and then they went back and said it did go in, and kind of a disappointing situation, but it is what it is. The advanced statistics certainly looked pretty even. Obviously you'd want to, dominate the advanced statistics against a team like Chicago. But the Corsi was pretty even, 62-60 for Chicago. The Fenwick, 43-41 for Montreal. The high danger scoring chances, 18-14 in favor of Chicago. And the expected goals favored Montreal, 3.79 to 3.32. I'm not sure how expected goals accounts for the shootout. I don't know how they do that. I'll have to look into that and figure that out. Somebody might know. What's up, PLW? Welcome to the show. Disappointment, but let's hope the Flyers and Michkov help us out tomorrow. Yeah, again, it gives us another game to watch, right? And we'll see how that goes. We'll see how that goes tomorrow. Keep tapping that screen, guys. Keep her coming. If you're over watching on TikTok, you can join us on YT. The channel is right there. It's called Recliner Sports 4. we're live on the air on YT doing Habs After Dark. We do that show every night after the Canadiens games. Come on over, talk about the game, get in the comment section, ask your questions, make your comments, all that good stuff. If you are over here watching, guys, give us a thumbs up if you're enjoying what you're seeing. And if you're not yet subscribed, give us a subscribe. The button is just here down below. We'd love to have you. And yeah. But things are pretty quiet here, guys. Are we all that disappointed in the game, or am I just being too salty for you guys tonight? Am I being too difficult? Canes probably battling for home advantage, but I believe Habs will beat the Canes. We'll see. Might have to buy myself a Demi-Dove jersey, says Felly over on TikTok. Yeah. Anyways, obviously, tonight was supposed to be the Canadiens clinch the playoffs, and we get to watch Demi-Dove play his first game in Montreal. I think on one hand, they delivered, right? We saw a great performance in his first game from Yvon Demi-Dove, but on the other hand, the Canadiens kind of shit the bed in the second and third period when it was right there for the taking, right? And they couldn't pull it off. And again, like I said earlier, for the first time this year, I think the Canadiens faced an occasion that they weren't able to rise up to. Canes might be resting guys for the last game, but history between Montreal and the Canes. Well, I think that the Canes there's still home ice advantage, I think, at play for the Hurricanes, I think. Carolina has home ice advantage. Okay, well, maybe they don't then. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. But again, it doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, the Canadiens will have to play their game. The Canadiens will have to go out and take it. Nobody's going to give it to them, right? Even if they've got nothing to play for and they do sit a bunch of guys, we just play. The Canadiens just played the last place team in the entire NHL, and they lost. So, the opportunity was there, and certainly, the Canes are not going to present any easier opportunity than the one the Canadiens had tonight. So, we'll have to see. We'll have to see how it goes. Coach must still be going over on YT. Is he, Larry and PLW? Is he still carrying on? He doesn't end his show after the games anymore like he used to. But Demi-Dove's being interviewed here.
Were you surprised by the way that the fans welcomed you, the way that they cheered your name when you got a pass and then when you scored?
It's crazy, but I have a feeling that fans love me, and it's cool. Yeah, it's amazing. I think.
Yes, they have to win. The Blue Jackets have to win both of their last two games. Why don't we look at that now, guys? Why don't we do that now? Why don't we look at that now? So if Columbus wins one of their games in overtime, is that updated? That might not be updated. Yeah, this is old. This is not updated. The Canadiens currently have 89 points. So if the Blue Jackets win one of their games in overtime, they still take it, I think. Because even if the Canadiens are even on regulation wins, the next tiebreaker after that is the total number of games won, and they would have one more than the Canadiens. So, yeah, it's complicated a little bit, but They need to win. They need to win at least one of their remaining two in regulation. Incorrect, Asim. They need to win one of the two. If they win one of their games in overtime, they'll be even on the first tiebreaker, which is regulation wins, and they'll be ahead in the second tiebreaker, which is overall wins. It's incorrect. You're incorrect, Asim. If they win one game in regulation and one game in overtime, they'll finish with 89 points. They'll have the same number of regulation wins as Montreal, which will move them on to the next tiebreaker, which is total wins, and they'll have one more total win than Montreal. The Habs look tired and ready to play golf. Yeah, I don't know if I agree with that, Larry, but they're a young team, right? This was a big pressure game, and they didn't match the effort, right? Chicago was out there just playing free and loose, right? This was Chicago's last game of the season, right? Chicago's done. I think that's it. Oh, maybe they have one game left. I thought somebody said that was their last game of the year. I mean, it might as well be, right? But they're just out there having fun, right? They don't have anything to play for. The season's basically over. They're out there just loosey-goosey, right? And the Canadiens, just couldn't match their energy. Isn't Columbus at 85 and Montreal at 89? Yes, they are. Correct. Montreal is at 89. Columbus is at 85. If they win both games in OT, then the Canadiens would win it because the Canadiens would be ahead of them in regulation wins. Peter, if tied, I believe it's regulations win. No. Yes, correct. Well, regulation, ROW and total wins is the same thing, Peter. Regulation and overtime wins is basically total wins, right? So Columbus can win one of their games in overtime, but they cannot win both. No, Asim is wrong, Matthew. Sorry, man. If Columbus wins both of their games and one of them in overtime, they will have 89 points. Both teams will have 29 regulation wins, which will mean that they're tied, and then they'll go to total wins, and then Columbus would have 40 total wins, and Montreal would have 39. So that if they win one game in overtime, then they would still win. Guys, the second tiebreaker. So the first tiebreaker, the fewer number of games played, right, which isn't going to be relevant. The second tiebreaker is the greater number of games won, excluding games won in overtime or by shootout. Regulation wins. The third tiebreaker is the greater number of games won, excluding games won by shootout. This is the record, the ROW column. Oh yeah, Montreal would be way ahead in that. You're right. My apologies. I went ahead to the fourth tiebreaker. So ROW and total wins is not the same. So the Canadiens are way ahead in ROW. So you're right. So they have to win. My apologies. Asim. My deepest apologies. If Columbus doesn't win, Columbus does have to win both games in regulation. The third tiebreaker is the greater number of games won, excluding games won by shootout. This figure is reflected in the ROW column, and Montreal has 37, and Columbus currently only has 32. It's just pretty sad to me that we have to rely on another team to lose for us to make it. Can't do it ourselves. Well, we don't, Felly. If the Canadiens beat Carolina, or even tie Carolina, then it doesn't matter what Columbus does. So in a sense, they still do have their own fate, their fate in their own hands. Welcome, by the way, Peach Rap. I think you're new here. Haven't seen you before. Felly, welcome. I don't think you've come over here before either. I know I've seen you a ton on TikTok, but I think you're new over here on our YT channel, so welcome. If you guys are over on TikTok, guys, feel free to come and join us on YT. The channel is right there. I see 45 people currently on the TikTok channel, but if you want to see the entire show, come on and join us over here on YT. Unfortunately, guys, this standings that I've got up here is not the latest. Let me see if I can fix that here. Give me 1 second here. I'll get you the updated version. Like that. Like that. And like stand by. Okay. Okay, there we go, guys. So that's the updated version with the Canadiens with 89 points. What type of karma we have? Columbus are just going to suck tomorrow and it's done deal. Well, I think they probably got some pretty good karma on their side given the events of this year so far. Yes, Columbus needs 2 regulation wins to beat the Canadiens if the Canadiens lose to Carolina. It's all good, Peach. Neither do I. I do sometimes. Devin, the shootout was a blatant error made by the refs. But again, you know, at the end of the day, he scored the goal. Like, are we going to really want to win in that way? Would you really want to win if they called back the goal because the refs missed it? I mean, sorry, Peach, I can't do it any better than that. I mean, it depends on what kind of screen you have. If you're watching it on your phone, you're probably not going to be able to see it that well, unfortunately. Once a ref established no goal and then the next shooter shoots, they can no longer go back and deem the previous one a goal. We were robbed. Again, I don't know that that's the rule, Peter. I don't know. I'd have to look and see that that's the rule. If it is the rule, then I think in a sense they were. But again, would you want to win that way? I don't know. Like, I don't know. Like, the goal went in. It's not like he didn't score. It's not like. It's a 55-inch TV and you can't see that? Well, sorry, man. I can't help you. I can't, there's nothing I can do to make it better, Peach. I'm sorry. I'm looking at it on my screen right here, and it looks, you know, I can read it. I'm not on a 55-inch TV. I don't know what to tell you. Sorry. Yeah. Again, it would be I think it would be a pretty lame way to win, Peter. But I don't know. Maybe that's just me. I'll check the rule and see. I mean, typically, if the play moves on, like, you know, if it's in regulation play, once the puck is dropped, you know, you can't go back and review a play that's happened previously. But Goulier's been playing with a bigger mean streak that he used to. Well, he's getting more comfortable, PLW, I think. You know, he's been around the league a little bit more now. You know, he knows what he can get away with and what he can't get away with. And I think he's, you know, getting better. And that's just sort of, you know, become a part of his game now. Although I do think that penalty that hit, believe it or not, I think kind of turned the game a little bit, right? That was kind of the turning point of the game that turned the ice in favor of Chicago. Is it the same scenario with Washington and got the playoff spot before Detroit? I'm not sure. NHL predictions. That's Adrian, I think, isn't it? I haven't seen you over here, Adrian, in a while. Twisted Tournaments, I love your mustache. Well, I appreciate that. Thank you very much. In all honesty, shootouts are a lame way to win as well. It's a skill competition, not a team win. Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's you know, it's why they don't decide playoff games that way. But again, it's kind of the way it is, and it's the way it is for everybody. But yeah, we lost the second Gooley made that hit. I don't know about that. It was a bit of a turning point. It shouldn't have been, but it was. I'm not sure he deserved well, yeah, he did deserve an interference penalty there. I'm not sure he deserved a roughing penalty. I mean, the other guy jumped him. Like, what is he supposed to do? Like that's what I never get about those 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 roughing after the. You throw a big hit, whether it's clean or not. A guy jumps on your back. Are you supposed to just let him punch you in the face so that he gets the extra penalty? Like, how do you get him to take the even up penalty? Like, I don't understand that. Yeah, again, I think you could look at the Gooley hit a couple different ways, PLW and Peach Wrap. Like it's, don't wake up the bear, but on the other hand, maybe it wakes your team up, right? Maybe it gives your team some momentum, right? A big hit, typically will give your team a little bit of momentum, but it is what it is. Got to give credit to Nazar and Bedard, who looked great. Yeah, I thought a lot of their young players looked really good tonight, right? Again, I never really understood why Chicago went out and brought in all of those veterans to start this year, right? I mean, everyone says you can't have all young players on your team, and I think that's true to an extent. But I think, when you have a team like Chicago, I think, why not let your young guys play at the NHL level? Why not let them develop at the NHL level? You're going to lose anyway. You're going to be in last place anyway. So why not let guys like, Nazar and Levshunov, come up to the NHL and be in the NHL the way the Canadiens did. Again, I'm not saying the Canadiens did it perfectly, but, you knew you were going to lose. So why not let those guys develop together so they develop a level of camaraderie and chemistry together and let them become, play together. It's just, it's more exciting for the fans. Yes, they're going to still lose, but at least they get to see their young players play. So, I don't know. Maybe needed to get to the salary floor. Yeah, I don't think that's the case, Fiddlestick. I don't think that was the case. Peanut butter whiskey shot. If we get to 15,000 likes, I'll do a peanut butter whiskey shot, but I don't see that getting anywhere close to that. Yes, the Canadiens just need 1 point against Carolina. So they can make the playoffs with a tie or an overtime loss. Chicago brought some vets to sort of protect Bedard. He looked frustrated last year, and players took lots of liberties towards him. Disagree. He looked a lot more comfortable last year than he did this year. He looked a lot more comfortable last year than he did this year. And, the players that they brought in weren't there to protect him. I mean, those guys were already there. Foligno was already there. They didn't bring him in. You might argue that Bertuzzi was a decent guy to bring in, but why are you bringing in Alec Martinez and, these 35, 36-year-old guys? It made no sense. It made no sense at all. I would much rather I'd much rather learn from, learn at the NHL level. And that's, in a rebuild, that's a luxury that you have that you don't have otherwise, right? You get, you get these guys to play together from a young age, right? If Slavkovsky had spent the last 2 years in the American Hockey League, or, Caden Gooley had spent a couple years in the American Hockey League, or what, these guys, you brought them up early, and yeah, they probably weren't ready for it. Arbor Jacki, guys who probably weren't ready, but they've played in the NHL now. And instead of being, guys who are 22 and 23-year-old rookies, now you've got guys with 100, 125 games under their belt. Yes, Demidov had a good game, guys. Yes. Thank you for the likes. Hello, Yoo-hoo. If you're over on TikTok, guys, you can tap that screen. If you want to get some likes, keep them coming. If you want to come over onto YT and join us over here, you're always welcome. Be great to see you. I think Demidov was a little confused a little bit. I don't blame him with his first NHL game. He didn't look very confused to me. He looked pretty, he might have ran out of gas a little bit towards the end of the game, but I don't think I don't think confusion would be a word that I would use to describe how he looked tonight. Cohen Weedick, welcome back. It's good to see you as always. Thank you for the question and the comment and the thumbs up, whoever that was. Thank you very much. Keep them coming, guys. If you're over on TikTok, feel free to pop over. We are live on YT. The show is Habs After Dark. The channel is Recliner Sports 4. Open up your YT app and then head over to the Recliner Sports 4. You can just search it in the search bar, and there we are. You will find us no problem. You should be able to find us no problem. Demidov will be a superstar, no doubt in my mind. Yeah, I mean, he certainly looks that way. He certainly looks like, he's done it at every level, and, he looked very good tonight. I mean, one game doesn't make an NHL career. There's still a lot for him to accomplish before, we can call him a superstar. And, there's been guys who've, come out and had great first games before. But again, he looked, it's not just about the points tonight. It was about how comfortable and how he looked very much not the opposite of out of place. Like, he looked like he belonged there, right? He wasn't, he didn't back down from anything. He was able to, control the puck. He was able to control the play when he needed to, and he looked pretty good. He's, he was able to do a lot of the things on the ice that he wanted to do tonight, despite it being his, first experience in the NHL. Like, that could have been, a situation where the nerves kind of locked you up and paralyzed you a little bit, or, you could have maybe been, oh my God, the speed is so, I can't handle this way faster or way more physical or whatever. That didn't appear to be an issue at all for him tonight. So, we'll see how it continues to develop, and hopefully between now and Wednesday, the Canadiens will lock up a playoff spot, and we'll get to see at least a few more games from Mr. Demidov. All right, guys, let's do the A team tonight. Nobody had any guesses on the A team yet, but I don't think you were watching the game, Ryan. Nice try, though. Nice try at the trolling. Demidov was a very good defensive player in the KHL, and he had a very, I think his defensive game was what's the right word? Not a surprise, but like a very, very much something that, you might not have expected tonight, but he delivered very, very much so. Get him next year? What do you mean, user? So guys, if you're on TikTok and you want to see the A team, guys, you want to see the graphics, come on over to YT. The channel is right there. Tonight's A team: Ivan Demidov, Nick Suzuki, Alex Newhook, and Patrick Laine. Let the games begin. Who doesn't like it? Who does like it? Let me see. What do you think, guys? I know I'm going to get some pushback on Patrick Laine, but that's fine. I'm prepared to defend my pick. Ivan Demidov obviously had a great game. His first game was probably the best player on the ice. Looked very good. 2 points in his first NHL game as a 19-year-old. Nick Suzuki, I don't think had an amazing game, but he certainly turned it on late when he had to. He's playing a pretty big role right now. He's playing, he's double shifting on the power play. He's killing penalties. He's putting in a lot of ice time for a forward. He also took a bit of a nasty hit late in the game. Didn't quite look himself in the. It would have been actually nice if Canes could have won that. He could have probably had a day off. I'll be interested to see if there's any repercussions to that hit and if he's got any, injury type issues or whatever that slow him down, or hopefully not, because he's a pretty important guy to the team. Alex Newhook, I mean, obviously he struggled to finish a little bit tonight, but he did get the goal and had a number of opportunities to score. His advanced numbers were very impressive. I think he and Laine and Demidov were the three best as far as advanced numbers were concerned tonight. But again, Newhook could have had probably 4 or 5 goals tonight. And it'll be fun to see when Newhook finally starts, getting that feel and start burying things a little bit, and if he can get that going. Patrick Laine, again, I know, there's aspects to his game that are frustrating. He looks like he's moving, a little bit slower than the others at times, and he probably is. I think his knee injury has probably slowed him down a little bit. But again, he's a guy who good things happen when he's on the ice more often than bad things happen when he's on the ice. And tonight was no different. More scoring chances when he's on the ice, way more scoring chances for the Canadiens than the other team when he's on the ice. And, I thought he looked, he looked pretty good. He made some nice moves. He moves the puck well. He does get caught up at the blue line a little bit, which is something that I think he's working on. But overall, I thought Laine played a decent game tonight. I know not everybody agrees with that, but again, I think there's a narrative out there about Laine that I don't think is an accurate one, and yeah, it is what it is. Habs fumbled a few passes in close. They didn't play great, but better than lately. Yeah, I'll agree they didn't play great, and they weren't able to corral those pucks, those rebounds in the crease, and finish those plays. There were a number of scoring opportunities that went begging a little bit. Laine struggles 5-on-5 a bit. Well, again, I don't know that he struggles. He obviously doesn't produce offensively the same way he does when he's on the power play. There's absolutely no doubt about that. But as far as him struggling, he still is on the ice, for far more scoring opportunities for his team than against his team when he's on 5-on-5. So it's not like he's a complete liability out there, when they're 5-on-5. People expect, because he puts up such big numbers and scores at such a pace on the power play, that he would do that on the penalty kill, on 5-on-5 as well. But he doesn't. And I think part of that has to do with the fact that he hasn't really had the best line mates this year, and the line mates he has had have been inconsistent, right? They change from game to game to game, He's not getting to play with the same guys over and over again. I think he's also a guy who struggles with confidence. And, when his confidence is high, he's obviously, harder to stop. And, right now, I think his confidence is okay. I think his confidence certainly has been lower at times. Certainly before the Four Nations break, I think his confidence was at an all-time low. But we'll see. Western wildcard race. Who are you rooting for? I don't know. I mean, I think St. Louis probably deserves it more than anybody else, but I think it would be cool to see another Canadian team get in. It'd be cool to see Calgary make it. Yeah, it'd be cool for Calgary to make it. Obviously, the Canadiens get a better draft pick if Calgary doesn't make it, but we'll see. I think St. Louis probably deserves it by the way they've played. So that is your A team for tonight, guys. Like I said, if you've got any thoughts on who should be there that I don't have, or who shouldn't be there that I do have, feel free to let me know. Darcy Pearson, welcome. Why is Goulet playing such a high-risk game when points are crucial? Give me your example, Darcy. Give me the example of again, I'm not sure what you're talking about. I didn't notice any instances of him playing high risk. And like, what point in the game when do you? I don't know what you mean. I mean, if you're talking about in the third period, again, I didn't notice any high risk plays. If you're talking about in the third period, then presumably it had something to do with them trying to get the tying goal, right? They only scored the tying goal with 3 minutes left in the game. I'm not sure what you're talking about, Darcy. But if you give me an example, I'm happy to chat about it. Peanut butter whiskey. We're only at 11,000 there. Baseball all day, every day. But if we get to 15,000, we'll do a shot of peanut butter whiskey. I think Demidov can handle the C2 position. Well, it's hard to tell after one game. PLW. I don't disagree with you. I think that someday down the road, I think he probably could. I think his game is good enough for him to do that. Obviously, he'll have to work on face-offs. Obviously, he'll have to practice, and I mean, he hasn't played as a centerman in professional hockey in his career. So, yeah, you had Laine, Newhook, Demidov, Hudson. Okay, yeah, not bad picks. Again, I thought Hudson has looked a little tired the last couple games. I thought, even the Ottawa game, maybe not his best game. He's just, I don't know. Is that what we're talking about? We're talking about the hit, Darcy. I don't think it was a high risk play. He did get caught. Was it him that got caught pinching early in the game, and Chicago went down the other end on a 4-on-1 or whatever it was? PLW still sad since with the Demidov performance, have to win. It could have been a total fairy tale story. Yeah, it could have been. Like I said, everything was there for it to happen, and it just didn't happen. Slammer Edits, what's up, Ethan? How are you? Why did he put Laine in the shootout instead of Demidov? Because Laine has been their best shootout player all year, Ethan, right? If you remember the last shootout they had, he was the only player on the team to score. Remember, he scored they needed a goal to stay in it, and Laine went in and did the move backhand, and then he roofed it in off the crossbar. Laine is a good. He's been their best shootout guy all year, I think. I don't know what the numbers are, but Laine has been very good on the shootout. I think Demidov was going next if they got to another shooter. Tap that screen, guys. Keep them coming. We're at 13,000 likes. Thank you, Boomy. We'll do a shot of peanut butter whiskey, guys, if you're over on TikTok and you get us to 15,000. But also, guys, if you come on over to, if we get over 25 viewers on YT, I'll do a peanut butter shot as well. Peanut butter whiskey shot. Yes. Demidov would definitely have gone next. I mean, the only reason I think you might have said you would have put Demidov out there to shoot in the top 3 shooters would have been if you were looking for some sort of sense of like PLW said, like the fairy tale story, right? Like the sense of the drama of it all. Put him out there first to get the crowd going, that kind of thing. That you might be able to make sense to me if you put him out there first to kind of get everything going. But again, you've got your 37-goal scorer. You've got your captain who typically, although he's struggled a little bit this year on the shootout, is a good shootout guy. And then Laine, who's been your best shootout guy this year. Yeah, Suzuki hasn't been amazing this year on the shootout. Last year he was incredible. But for some reason he's struggled a little bit this year. So, guys, if we get to 20 plus, or did I say 20 or 25? 25 people watching over here on YT will do a peanut butter shot as well. Yeah, it would have been nice if it would have got to him. I guess that's part of the drama too, right? If it goes to, if you're the 4th guy, then maybe you're in a position to score the winning goal. So maybe they're looking for the drama that way as well. I didn't have a problem with them not using. I mean, again, for the story of it all, you maybe you would have got him out there. I could see that. I could justify that. That would make some sense. But yeah, Suzuki he is struggling. Again, he's a guy who's relied on some pretty funky moves over the years to score in the shootout, and sometimes that disappears on you a little bit, right? Montreal needs a new coach, says Snipes Edits over on TikTok. You see why I try not to do TikTok anymore, guys? Because that's the kind of comments that you have to deal with sometimes. Montreal needs a new coach. How about that, guys? So far tonight, we've had the Canadiens should have started Dobesh tonight. We've also had, what else did we have? Uri Slavkovsky needs to be put on the fourth line. We had that earlier. Now we have Marty St. Louis is not a good coach. Montreal needs another coach. Tahir says Montembeault is overrated. So this is what you get on TikTok, guys. So when I say that I'm trying to build a place where we can have civil, intelligent conversation about hockey over here on YT, this is kind of what I'm talking about. Like, this is the ass clownery that happens on TikTok that, you know, isn't really worth the time. Marty St. Louis is one of the 3 or 4 best coaches in the NHL. Period. You know, there's no doubt in my mind. It's, you know, really not up for much of a debate. What's up, RDP? Welcome. Coach must have finally ended his show, did he? Coach is going for, I think, the most amount of hours on YouTube out of everybody. He's trying to break the record. Peanut butter shot, yes, we did. You did it, guys. You did it. You did it. All right. Peanut butter shot. Logan Branco. So we'll do a shot of peanut butter whiskey, guys. If we get over 20 people over 25 people onto the YT channel, we'll do another one. But this is to all the guys on TikTok that did the all the tapping that screen over here. Cheers, cheers. There we go. If we can get, if you guys want to come over, guys, I see there's 18 of you over on TikTok. Come on over to YT and we'll do another peanut butter shot. The Canadiens have rarely been in shootouts this season, but I'm not saying that affected them. Yeah, you know, they haven't been in nearly as many shootouts this year as last year, which I guess is in one way a good thing, but I don't know. I don't know if you lose. I'm sure it's something that they do in practice. It's a fun thing to work on, I guess, in practice, but they haven't, I don't know what their record is in shootouts this year. The YT channel is right here, guys. Recliner Sports 4. So open up your YT app. Come on over. Get in the comment section. Ask your questions. RDP just joined up. PLW's here. We got 11 people in here right now. I don't mind the goaltending. It kind of reminds me of the whole Hewitt, Halak, and Price situation from years ago. Yeah, I'm not sure I would put Montembeault in the same category with Hewitt, but yeah, I could. I mean, I get it. I get it. I get it. Welcome, hello Yoo-hoo. Hit the subscribe button, hello Yoo-hoo, right there. Join and subscribe. There are currently 12 people watching. Columbus is making the playoffs. Yeah, they might. I mean, it's highly unlikely. The odds are still stacked very heavily against them, but they could. You know, they've got to win. They've got to win 2 games in regulation, and the Canadiens have to lose in regulation on Wednesday. But it could happen. I see. I made it over from TikTok. Hello, Yoo-hoo. I appreciate it. There's Mr. True Believer, the calmest man on TikTok. Tap that screen, guys. Like, share, and follow. And if you want to come over and join us on YT, please come on over. There's a button right down below here somewhere that says subscribe. Hello, Yoo-hoo. Yeah, the odds, I think 85 something. What does it say on Money Puck? The Canadiens are, I can't. Here we go. Thank you, hello Yoo-hoo. We now have 14 people in the show. We're doing Habs After Dark, guys, over on YT. If you're over there on TikTok, come on over and join us. Pop over, get onto the YT channel. You can ask your questions over here. Yeah, you can subscribe. You can hit the notification bell. You can hit the thumbs up, all that stuff. H.A.D traded for a second rounder when he was the first goalie and Habs were leading the East was the worst trade from Bob Gainey. Yeah, I don't remember much about it, PLW, so I wouldn't really want to comment about it, but Bob Gainey made a few doozy trades, right? The Canadiens had a number of guys who were really good players who turned out to be pretty below average coaches and GMs. What's going on, guys? Everyone's quieted up here. No one's talking. We've been on for about an hour and 20 minutes or so. Yes, I saw that before, PLW. The odds makers have the Canadiens as a 1.06 to make the playoffs, and Columbus is a 7. Scott Gomez says, hi, clearly the worst trade. Yeah, I mean, it's different, right? Like, there's two ways to look at a trade, right? The first is to look at the trade on the day the trade was made, and the second is to look at how the trade worked out in the end, right? Like the Scott Gomez trade might not have been crazy at the time it was made, but it certainly didn't turn out to be to the Canadiens' benefit. Like it's easy to look at trades and look in retrospect and say this was a bad trade, but it's same thing with draft picks, right? Like you can say that this guy was a bust or that guy was a bust or they should have picked this guy. But at the time, there's a pretty wide consensus that this is one of the guys to take, right? Two and 4 in the shootout. Peanut butter shot challenge. The penalty kill let the Habs down tonight. Chicago's got a good power play, by the way. For a team that's in last place, I think they're in the top 10 in the NHL on the power play. So again, I think the Canadiens, what did they kill? 3 of 4 tonight? They only killed 1 of 3. Yeah, that's not ideal. Yeah, that's not ideal. Yeah, the penalty kill, they need to be better than that. I think Chicago has an 81 or 82%. Sorry, that's a lie. Not 82. That's a 20 or 21 or 22% power play. Jag Brar. What's up, Daniel? Welcome back. All right, guys. I thought you guys would want to talk a little bit more after that game. Everyone seems to be really quiet. Is Coach still on? Sorry, guys. Trying to. Oh yeah, Coach is still going, man. Coach has been on for almost 5.5 hours now. Coach has been going for almost 4.5 hours. So I guess I won't get anybody from Coach's live to come over because I guess he doesn't end his show when the game ends now. He just keeps going and going and going and going and going. How come, Jagbrar? Why would you rather have had Demidov than Line in the shootout? Line has been the Canadiens' best shootout guy all year. Is it considered a success if they don't make the playoffs, especially when almost guaranteed? No, I don't think that would be considered success, but I think the season would be considered a success, Peter, when you look at the fact that they, in that scenario, they would have, been that close to making the playoffs when I don't think anybody expected them to be anywhere near a playoff spot this year. With the goal having been only to play meaningful games late in the season, right? And they've done that. So I think this year is a success regardless of whether they make the playoffs or not. Obviously, if they lose now, losing in that manner is not, you know, not ideal. But, again, I think overall, the fact that they're, 15, 16 points ahead of their pace from last year. They've improved their goal differential by about 30 goals. All these different things are indications that this season was successful. Gomez Nazar looked good. He was the pick. Yeah, that was the pick that the Canadiens gave up for Kirby Dach. You are correct. I think it's very meaningful, Peter. Again, I think this was the whole idea behind playing meaningful games, right? These are games that give them a ton of experience. That, like you say, it gives them a taste of what playoff hockey is like. It gives them a feeling for it, so that when they do become a team that's expected to contend, that they're not experiencing these types of pressure games for the first time, right? They've been there, they've seen it. As young players, they're getting to experience this type of stuff at an early stage of their career, which I think is huge, right? It's huge for them to have that experience. And again, if they do, if they do make the playoffs, if they win on Wednesday or whatever, if they do make the playoffs, then having the experience or the opportunity to get a taste of that, takes things even to another level, right? It takes them to, at this point, it's development, right? And there's all kinds of different ways that you need to develop to become a contending hockey team. You have to obviously develop skill-wise. You have to get better at the game of hockey. You have to develop mentally, right? Which is, I think, been a big part of the what they've done this year. Learning how to win. Good winning habits. We hear Marty St. Louis talk about it all the time, right? Doing things that don't help the other team, or don't do not helping the other team with your actions. Risk taking, all that kind of stuff. This is the mental side of the game. Learning how to to come back when you get behind. Learning how to not let one goal ruin your entire game. Like, these are the sort of the mental winning habits. And the other way to develop is through experience, right? Because you can, develop all of those habits, but if you get into situations that you've never had before, there's a good chance you might not be able to deal with it, properly the first time, right? We talk about, having to lose before you win. So you go to the playoffs and, you might not win, but at least you got a taste of it and you know what it feels like. I have no comments for the shootouts. A whole disaster. Okay. Did he? I didn't hear his interview. PLW. Did he speak about them being nervous? Because again, like I said earlier, I thought tonight was probably the first time I've seen this team face a challenge or a situation that they weren't up to the challenge. They weren't able to meet the challenge tonight that was presented to them, and that hasn't happened very often this year. Again, it's weird to say that because they're playing against a team that's probably even younger than they are, but I don't know. Again, it's hard to say that. To me, it's hard to say that they were nervous when they came out and played as well as they did through the first, 15, 16, 17 minutes or so. Oilers is going through tough time with their best players still out. Yeah, Oilers are. I don't know. The Oilers have to win this year, man. I think after this year, I think their window's closing. All right, guys. It seems like we're all shutting her down here now. No one's really commenting anymore over on YT. So I am going to shut her down. We've been live here for about an hour and a half. Again, we didn't get any French commentary. Pas de français ce soir. On n'a pas eu l'opportunité de parler en français. Il n'y avait pas de questions en français. C'était uniquement en anglais. Alors, à la prochaine, si vous avez des questions en français, si vous voulez parler en français, on peut faire ça. Again, guys, no French tonight. I do appreciate everybody for coming by. I appreciate that you guys dealt with my saltiness early on. I think I calmed down a little bit as the show went along. But again, it was a bit of a disappointing game to watch. It was frustrating. Again, for those of you who are new or just joining us, 4-3 for the Blackhawks in a shootout. The Canadiens were not able to cement their spot in the playoffs. They will have to wait and see what happens with Columbus. Columbus has 2 games remaining, one against Philadelphia and the other against, I don't remember. They have 1 game against Philadelphia, and then they have 1 game against the New York Islanders. So they play Philadelphia later this evening, and then they play on Thursday against the Islanders. If they lose either of those games, or if they don't win in regulation in either of those games, the Canadiens will clinch a playoff spot. Alternatively, the Canadiens will play on Wednesday against the Carolina Hurricanes, and they will qualify for a playoff spot if they are able to gain 1 point. So they can either win the game in regulation, they can win the game in overtime, or they can lose the game in overtime or lose the game in a shootout, and they will qualify for the playoffs. All right, gang, thank you very much. If you are watching in a replay, guys, please subscribe. We're trying to grow our community. We're trying to get this this off the ground and give you guys a place where you can come after the games to talk about the Montreal Canadiens, talk about hockey in general. If you're interested in that, please subscribe, whether you're watching live or in a replay. Again, we're growing our spot here. It's a slow and steady pace. We're trying to get to 500 subscribers. It's taking us a minute here. We're right around 330, I think. But again, if you're interested in that kind of content, then please give us a follow or a subscribe. If you're over on TikTok, then you can pop on over and do the same thing. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That's it for tonight, guys. Thanks for coming by. I appreciate all of you. I appreciate your contributions, your comments, your questions, all of that good stuff. And yeah, Habs After Dark, guys. Every Montreal Canadiens game, we go live. We also do Habs Therapy Day on Wednesday evenings. We will not be doing a show this week as the Canadiens will be playing the Carolina Hurricanes. And then hopefully we will be moving into the playoffs after that. I am going to try and get somebody from the, if we do qualify for the playoffs. Well, I'll talk about that later. I'll talk about that later if we get there. I'm not going to jinx anything by talking about it now. But again, like and subscribe, hit the notification bell, all that good stuff. Thanks very much, guys. I hope you enjoy the rest of your night. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for your contributions. PLW, RDP, Peter, Matthew, all the rest of you, Matthew Ferguson, Hello Yoo-Hoo, everybody, RDP again, Slammer Edits, that's Ethan, I think. Yeah, it's great to see you. Thank you very much, and enjoy the rest of your night. Peace out.
To Hoffman, Monahan parked in front, Doc to Caulfield, fires, scores!
You are about to enter Habs After Dark with Recliner Sports.